Call the meeting to order, if you could, please. First order of business would be the minutes from the April 21st meeting. There was a correction on the last page, page 105, with the soil conservation report, where it says in the middle, Hart explained that $913,000 of soil and water funds were generated. That's actually 113.
Yes. I can agree with that.
113. I thought it said 105.
So motion to approve with the as corrected. How about that?
Thank you. Is there a second to that motion? Second by Jerry Hahn. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove?
I suppose that's why it was circled.
On yours, yeah.
Okay.
Because I made you a copy off mine. Next would be your bills list and your additional bills list. On the additional bills list, there's some blacktop on Potter Shop Road that was done. That was a big expense, and let's see. Questions, comments
They did not get Potter Shop on this bill.
on the additional bills list? Additional bills list. And then you got on your other money, Sam, on the Beer Lane, on the flex funds from last year?
Yes.
It's in your
Yes.
county money.
Yeah, with the county money
Yeah.
to finish it up.
Finish it up.
Correct.
Roadside pickup, a lot of payouts on that. Entertain a motion to approve the bills.
Make a motion, pay the bills as presented.
Thanks, Bernard.
I'll second.
Second by Keith Metcalf. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next, as required by statute, I put a copy of this public notice in your mail. The public hearing regarding the proposed use of the county road aid and local government economic assistance funds. These are the funds that are generated from the coal sector and also the minerals tax. Is there any public comment? I received no written comment. Is there any public comment on who, somebody want to use those roads, that money on their particular road that's not being taken care of? That being said, that no comment, we will close the public hearing process of this and move on to regular business. Okay? That's required just in case, I guess that was set up just in case a constituent has a complaint about a county road and the county's getting extra money for that. And I have no idea, I've been doing this for 21 years, I have no idea, and I've never had a comment on it. That must mean that magistrates are doing their jobs. Next would be a couple of proclamations. No court action necessary on this, but I want to enter these as a matter of public record. I think media, you have a copy of those in your mailbox. In particular, I was talking to a constituent that had several family members that had been affected by the Lyme disease and the tick-borne disease, and want to make the other public aware, so maybe they would have to go through the amount of, health care that they've had to incur during that process. Lyme and tick-borne diseases have been around here for years and years, and maybe some of the old country doctors kind of knew. They called it tick fever, I think, what they called it back in the day, probably. So, as a matter of public record, I'm going to sign this proclamation making the Lyme and tick-borne disease awareness month this month, because they are out. I assure you. I had a couple the other day.
I got 2 off me.
Yeah.
So media, if you could help me with that, it would, I think, just make the awareness of it. There's the first proclamation. The other proclamation is the Building Safety Month proclamation. As you notice, Logan's not here today. This is the second meeting in a row we've had so many inspections.
That's a good thing.
Got to be out on the job, so it's really picked up quite a bit. Hopefully that will continue to move forward, and we'll recognize that as well.
And
What's that? Today's 5/5/15. I had a young lady I married this morning and wanted to make sure she got married on 5/5/15. Okay, it would help with it. Thank you. Okay, jail report, Dorcas.
Okay, today we have a total of 113 inmates. We still have 3 in Hardin County, they're females. We're still crowded on females too. And then state inmates, we have 40, we don't have any on home incarceration. We have 2 that's serving weekends, so we have an in-house total of 108 inmates. So that's all I have for you.
That 40 number is a good number.
how much are we paying?
That help.
How much are we paying Hardin County?
Nothing,
Swap.
we swap,
The state pays what, $30 a day?
$31.64.
$31.64. Okay.
Darkness on the Thomas Nelson freshman class. We got 2 or 3 through the jail the other day. They're very impressed. They want to thank you personally. Your crew did a great job. Really opened their eyes.
Did they get to see some of the orange jumpsuits?
They saw everything.
That was one of the, to be as large as it was, that's one of the best classes we've had in. I mean, they laughed at the inmates, they didn't make fun of them, and I'm very, very well.
It's, you know, when I spoke to the group, of course, I had the principal in the group that I was with, and he had to call 1 or 2 of them outside, but he made sure that they were well mannered.
Inmates did a great job explaining you don't want to come this place.
Well, good.
And I explained, hey, we're all locked in. We even can't get out unless you let us out. We're officers, we open the door.
Mine wasn't that exciting, but they were a well-mannered bunch of kids. We met out at the Flowers Food Bakery area, and a real nice bunch of kids.
Well, good.
Lots of questions.
Thank you, Dorcas. EMS report, Joe.
Monthly report for April, 547 calls made, 101 of those non-transport. We continue to be on the increase, a little bit more each month, making right now an average for the year of 19.9 runs a day. About 30% of those are transfers out of the hospital to Louisville facilities, and that ties trucks up anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 hours, depending on what time of day it is. So the crews do a very good job of hustling back. They know we have runs holding, and they know that we can see where they're at, what they're doing too, so that helps out a little bit when they're on the way back from those trips. Update on the EMT class, that's over halfway. The students that started the class are all still engaged. I think all of them are finding out that this is not an easy task for them to do, but they're hanging in there and doing very well. Scheduled test date is May 15th for those students. They'll test out of the class. If they pass the class on a written exam and a practical skills exam, then they'll be recommended for the National Registry Test, which is a computer generated test they'll have to pass in order to get their certification. So that's going very well.
How many do you have?
We have, we started with 9 and still have 9.
You sound like you've had a few drop out over the years.
I'd like to compliment Ronnie Mudd and his crew. They got stopped in a traffic backup down on 245 last week and helped a lady out of the car.
Bullitt County?
Yeah, in Bullitt County. And kind of gave her, checked her out. But I thought that was really good of them, not being called, just happened to show up, but they were more than willing to help out in a needed situation. And I appreciate that.
Good deal. Alrighty, we'll move on to the landfill and solid waste report.
At the landfill, we're just regular business guys. Finally, the weather's broke, so we are hauling as much dirt as we can while the weather's good. So getting around to some of that type of maintenance stuff. You guys, I sent you an email for the solid waste department on buying dumpsters. That's a larger purchase than my pay grade allows. So just wanted you guys to review that.
That purchase order, you know about.
What that is for is dumpsters just wear out, guys. They get holes in the bottom of them. You know, we got to replace them because the commercial entities get rolled up by health departments, basically. We try to patch some of them. Eventually what happens, they just rot out so bad on the bottom, can't patch them anymore. So they end up at what else, basically.
So what you do?
Excuse me,
They
sir.
go for scrap. Is that what-
Yeah, the smaller dumpsters have casters, you know, with the wheels on the bottom of them. We'll cut the wheels off, reuse them again if they're good, if the bearings are good.
Right.
Outside of that, some of them we've retrofitted, used for recycling, but usually by the time you've seen our equipment, when we're done with it, it's got a better place to go.
That PO is for $18,209.60. Need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve dumpster.
Thank you, Jeff. Second by Sam Hutchins. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry.
The only other thing, our gentleman was supposed to be here, should be now, to pick our tires up. Today we start, he was supposed to show up yesterday, something came up, whatever, but today's the day we start loading that out. It'll be one load today till they get it away from us, is what they indicated to us.
Will they get them all today?
Oh, no, it's just one load a day. They take them all the way to Marion, Kentucky, not Marion County, Kentucky, but Marion, which I think is
Other side
about
of Princeton.
3-hour drive, is that right?
3 hours, 1 way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they take it down there and grind it up. Why they're not taking it to their local plant, I didn't ask. That same company, so
Probably still underneath the market
I
stuff.
didn't ask.
Marion is pretty desolate.
These are good guys though, they've done it over years for us.
Yeah.
Unless you guys got something specific.
Next, next we move on to the road department report. On the first item on that list is the county road aid agreement. Every year, the county enters into an agreement to get their fuel tax money from the state of Kentucky. As you know, this year it's about $270,000 less than the previous year. But that being said, we'll take what we have available. That's $1.293,980.07, and of which 60% will be distributed about the last of August. Need a motion to approve the resolution and authorize the judge to enter into the agreement.
So moved.
Thank you, Jeff. Second by Bernard Ice. Further discussion?
With the increase in gas prices, potentially that amount could go up at,
No more than 10%
so
in revenue.
other things like that.
10% of, it could be 120,000 years. Yes, but it's not going to look that fast.
Just quarterly.
Yeah. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. And you've got a copy of that, don't you? You'll fix that up for me. Salt barn update, Jim. I put down there to let the guys know where we are on that project.
All right, we've moved all the sand, salt, moved and tore down half the old building. We're actually building a pad today, should be close to finishing up. The weather holds out this week. We're having to raise one corner and cut one down to make it all level out. It's going pretty good, so it'll work out. I got the contracts here, Dean, for you to sign after court for McMichaels and other people, so we can go on and get those guys. I didn't want to get those until I was sure everything else was working out. It's working out pretty good, so.
Looks like it. Guys done a good job.
Was the ground that was there, Jim, was it stable enough? Did you have to remove?
No, it's rocky. There's a lot of material, old asphalt. I tell you what.
Salt is a lot of asphalt.
Where the salt is, there's asphalt that thick in some places where the state must have paved it years ago when they owned the facility. A lot of asphalt, so we had to cut all that up. We're using it as our field, you know. But
And you're rolling it with a
we got
packer.
a sheep's foot roller that we rented. And, I've got a meeting with McMichaels at 11
Was it about
o'clock.
2 foot field on the one corner?
Gonna be closer to 3.
Closer to
See, I have to bump it up 6 inches today just because we're cutting so deep on the front end. And I didn't want to cut that deep, so we bumped the grade up. Try to level it out better. But it's gonna work out. It's just, you know, it's gotta be a flat building there. So, you got time to ride out there and check it out. There's, like I said, 11 o'clock, I'm meeting Adam McMichaels. That's David's son that's managing.
If I hadn't known there was that much blacktop there, we would have sold the blacktop. Recycled it.
Recycled
Good material.
Mega wouldn't give you,
Blacktop,
they won't give you enough.
I know they are, these.
They're pretty tight when it's.
I was amazed when I was out there yesterday, how much was that?
Another 7, you can put it back.
Okay,
You want me to go?
rest of your report, Jim?
I got
Yeah.
a few things here, nothing major. It's on the bush hogging. We're finishing up bush hogging. We're not gonna get all the districts done, but we've got, District 5 left and some 2 left, but we got everybody throughout one big, we've gone through the district. Doesn't mean it won't grow back. We don't cut it back like the state does, so it'll still need some boom mowing as time goes on. We're gonna start bush hogging this week, is the thing. I mean, we're gonna start in District 5, and then we'll go 2, 1, 3, and 4, Time we get to 3 and 4, it'll be like.
4 is the last on total boom again.
It just seems like it, I don't know.
I don't know, this is something Kroger sets up. I don't know how he keeps up. He's got a district that he starts in. I don't know. I never questioned him.
Kentucky fans. Is it?
I'll ride through and make sure it don't grow very much. I'll slow it down a little bit.
So you're gonna have to pull me up some cash.
It's really not quite tall enough to do it, but it will be so tall, we should have started soon is what we're here,
The worst problem's with river weeds, whatever that stuff is.
Yeah, ragweed.
No, it's that poison hemp or whatever they call it.
Sumac?
Yeah, whatever, I don't know, but it's that stinking river weed.
Anyway, we have done a lot of potholes.
It's bad. But some of these things are already up my waist around the potter shop. It's about a wall.
We've done a lot of pothole patching, so we're caught up on that. And if y'all get a call on something, just call it in or send in a work order, and we can run out and do it. That's the cold mix type stuff. We did do hot mix patching. We got our machine going and did Simpson Creek, where that low water bridge is, for that fella that bought that land back there. And then Timber Creek, we put a skim coat over it that keeps peeling off every time it rains real hard, once or twice a year. We've done a lot of driveway culverts, Ashford Lane, Murray's Run, 2 of them, Froman Green, Wells Loop, Old Nelsonville, all over the county, Nelson Avenue. And we're repairing all these yards that we couldn't see the road when we plowed, so. Some of these places are way off the road. It's kind of funny.
It happened out there, Lane, too, so I don't know how they did what they did.
That's right.
2 foot of snow, you can't tell where the road is sometimes.
Mago's grader went down the ditch line, plowing the ditch line on one road, and thinking it was the road, because there's the mailbox here and there's a fence over here, so he went in between them, but the mailbox was facing the wrong way, Then the snow melts there. So anyway.
It's dry enough where you can do it. So.
It's dried up enough to where that's what we're working on this week and hopefully next week, and we'll get caught up on that, so that's it.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Next, in your mail, there was a list of surplus vehicles, or 3 vehicles listed there. You guys got a copy of that?
About that John Deere road grader.
John Deere road grader, are you ready to do that?
We can, Brad's gonna get the better of the 2 out there at the landfill, and the third one's just sitting. We don't need it. I've got 2 graders now, and we're using the new one, of course.
If you need any parts, now'd be the time to pilfer.
Well,
They're 2 years different.
it's more valuable if it's running.
Sure, yeah, it's running.
It's got a power on it.
We got a-
It's flat this morning.
Yeah, but more valuable.
But it serves no purpose.
I understand, we're talking about it.
It's under rusting.
And I'm not ready to do Russell's truck yet. But,
We'll have some other things.
If I-
You're not ready to scrap his old truck?
no, we're opening bids Friday.
Okay. I'd say Waddell's would make a real good spot for that
You
one.
want to go ahead and declare that surplus too, Russell?
I think we probably, what do you think on Russell's old truck? Surplus it? It's
Somebody wants.
got what, a $500,000 miles on it?
40 tires on it now.
Okay. Added to the list, we have a John Deere road grader, the oldest one. I'll get Elaine the numbers off of that one. Then Russell's truck, I think that's about, I don't know what, it's a GMC, isn't it?
I think you,
I'll get you all the
GMC with no rear end.
Yeah. No transmission?
We've got our money's worth out of that vehicle. That was a vehicle we bought in Frankfurt several years ago, and we more than got our money's worth out of it. Need a motion to declare that list surplus and have a public auction. Thank you, Bernard. Is there a second to that motion? Second by Sam Hutchins. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. Get that John Deere grader and, okay, you got it now? And I'll get you the VIN numbers on the other two.
How old is it, John Deere?
Real old.
It's probably a
It's almost
late
I think it's an 83.
I've got the list.
I got a list
I'll let you know.
database on it, but I'm pretty sure it's 83. The other one's an 85.
It's in Romeo.
Are they both John Deere?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And back in the day, we had a lot of gravel roads.
Yeah.
They.
Is the parts off the one John Deere transferable to the other?
You all mentioned that 83 to 85. I don't know if you can or you can't. I'm not sure. Probably not. I know that Steve has a tough time finding
So we'll take the
parts.
good tires, is there any good tires on this one?
I know it's in a flat one, but I didn't pay attention to
Take the
quality.
good tires off this one, put it on the one.
Don't worry, them boys will figure all that out.
The back-
And we don't,
We'll talk about that backup.
them guys,
You can if you want.
I asked him to wait another 60 days.
Well, can we go online? Where's that? There's bound to be burned up, wrecked ones, scrapped ones. If you can find
we don't
one
want
with
to
just
do
the
that.
back
I don't
end, come on, Jim. It'll make another year. That's,
I think we can use Brad. Give us 60 days to get through the budget process.
I didn't know you were gonna bring, I thought you were gonna give me a new backhoe. I didn't know you were gonna burn that backhoe.
There's a couple.
we'd have to quit buying patches if we're going to.
Yeah.
Chris has already said we got a new salt barn.
Let's digest that one for a while if we could.
I think we still need to look.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. We might be able to find
We'll
one.
find one that was pretty reasonable.
Every now and then, piece of creek will catch on fire.
Sure it will.
Don't say that.
It's 20-something years old. The other one, the graders are 30 years old, guys. You know, equipment just doesn't hold up as long as you think it should sometimes. I mean, it's old.
Could I report on the
Getting
next?
parts for the graders, you can't get
My
parts.
equipment's 50 years old, Jim, so 30s would be new to me. I'm just saying.
Under old and new business.
That's what mine is, old business.
State road projects. Just want to identify to the public that I've had several complaints on Springfield Road from McDonald's to Walmart. The state has already contracted to overlay that portion of the road. That will be done in the next several weeks ahead. If you'll notice, it will start there at the Mocotuck Elm Country Club and go all the way out to Walmart, right there pretty close to wherever they'll tie in. Yesterday, the state was working on the signal lights and putting in new, anybody was out that way, I don't know what you call those readers where it automatically signals.
Yeah, traffic
Doing
all back
those.
for yesterday.
I have had several concerns on that. That's really the major, there's about 8 other blacktop projects, but you guys are already aware of the real secondary projects that are in the county. I don't want to talk about the microservices yet, because.
So it sounds like that road's not going
That
to
may
be
not,
constructed
people may not be.
for the near future.
What's that?
2015's budget is supposed.
But they're going to do the other end first, right?
Okay, so not.
They're going to do, on 115, they're going to do by the overpass, all that be done first, and this other project will be done second.
Good.
It's broken up into 2 different.
So you're talking about next year they might do it? So they're gonna try to.
Senator Higdon is, thinks very confident next 18 months or so she'll be able to.
It's definitely needed out there.
So that's why we went in and did this in, because, you can't wait, that road's real bad.
Terrible. I drove through yesterday. It's terrible.
It really does.
The other thing I want to report on, as I mentioned earlier, building has picked up, so our building inspector is also our nuisance inspector. We're anywhere from 10 days to 2 weeks behind on all of our nuisance complaints. This time of year, you start getting a lot of those because of high grass, people cleaning up and spring cleaning. So be patient with him. He's working diligently to get those done. If you hear any complaints, it's because the building has picked up. If you'll remember, we combined that job and Joe Cameron retired.
You've done a good job.
Logan's done an excellent job.
Outstanding.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else to report on, guys? Report?
I have nothing.
Do plan on having, going through the budget next court meeting, and hopefully, I'm gonna make a few minor changes maybe.
Elaine back there also.
Next meeting is election day, which is okay, it's going to be a light one. Just so you know, it is election day.
Do you mind having an election day?
No,
It won't be a-
one of the girls will come up
Okay.
and help us.
Yeah, It is going to be a light
It's
one.
very light one, so we can manage, but I just, so you know that,
Okay.
okay?
And it won't be over an hour and a half or so.
Yeah, it's fine.
Thank you, Elaine, for that. Because I had to go into a special meeting, these media people catch me.
Yeah, I know, it's a pain, so.
Thank you.
Chief Howard.
Chief, yes.
I just want to take a moment to say a couple of things, actually, but I want to thank Courtl for working with me, working with the city of Bardstown to add some hydrants out in the 150 area with the new station out there. That'll be, that infrastructure upgrade will be something that'll be a benefit to those citizens for many, many years to come. So Sam, in particular, I'd like to thank you for working with us on that. Also, I didn't want to butt in, but Joe was being very kind. He mentioned the people that were in the EMT class out there, but he failed to give credit to his staff that have done, there's a lot of work that's put into their staff to do that training, EVA, monitoring the progress, and those people doing ride-alongs. The reason I'm saying that is a large portion of those people are fire department staff. So, Joe, I want to tell you I appreciate you and your staff and all the ride time that they're having to do for our people. So, I appreciate that. And then just again to talk about our staff and our members as well with all the training that they've been doing. We're transitioning into spring. They're being able to get outside. Hopefully, the citizens will be able to ride by the station. They train every Monday night, every Friday from 9 to 11 o'clock, most weekends, and they've been putting in a tremendous amount of time training, and our training coordinator just keeps lining them up, and they seem to be enjoying it more and more all the time. So just want to take a few minutes.
Good, thank you, Chief.
Dean, I got that Springfield Fire Station chief, the mail called me the other day wanting to, they could drop in there and pave it. I don't know, they don't have a purchase order or anything. Is that-
Mike Rogers is the one that is who they had been working with on that, because they need to overlay both of the other substations at time.
Is there a purchase order sent to Mike Rogers? He acted like he didn't have one, is what I'm getting at. So I need to send one. It's going to be paid for out of this one?
I don't know if they got to that point or not. I think they were waiting because he wanted to measure it off exactly. Maybe he didn't have the exact measurements to do a
Okay,
order on.
I'll get with you on it. He was ready to pave it, but now he had the dirt away too. But we get it.
That'd be perfect. Great, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Something like that.
Anything else, Court? Motion to adjourn? Made by Leonard Ice, seconded by Jerry Hahn. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. Thank you.